Buenos días, Español. This is Señor Irvin, and this is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Little quick presentation about some information here. You are more than welcome, and I would highly encourage you to go ahead and take notes as you actually go through this. Pause me if I'm speaking too fast. And then at the end, you'll be taking a little quiz just to make sure you are paying attention. After you watch this presentation and you also go through and check out a couple of other videos, other people explaining kind of the same thing I'm going through here, just in a different way. So anyway, Dia de los Muertos, I think, is probably one of the most, it's kind of like the most misunderstood, holiday that Spanish speakers celebrate. You see these scary skeleton things and you're thinking of Halloween. And it actually comes at the same time of year as Halloween, so that's kind of a interesting component to it. But Dia de los Muertos is celebrated a little bit after Halloween. Actually, it's November 2nd, but really November 1st is when we used to go ahead and start celebrating. If you're of the Catholic religion, you know that November 1st is something that is called All Saints Day, and November 2nd is something that's called All Souls Day. In Espanol or in Spanish-speaking countries, November 1st, we kind of start celebrating Dia de los Muertos. That's a day where usually we were talking about celebrating the deaths of possibly of children, people that had died when they were really young, kids. And then November 2nd, we were celebrating the deaths basically of the adults. The adults were supposedly come back to life and celebrate with us. So anyway, it's a Spanish-speaking it's celebrated in Spanish-speaking countries, specifically in Mexico, but even in the United States now it's become a big thing. And where did these traditions come from? Well, if you know anything about Mexico, you understand that the Spaniards came obviously from Spain and they brought the Catholic religion with them. But there was already religions in Mexico that were the native religions, like what the Aztecs might have had or the Mayans. And the mixture of the two religions basically created this thing called Dia de los Muertos. And so, as it says right here, the Spanish arrived and they kind of like smushed things together. And then they said they made it into kind of a Catholic holiday, though it has a lot of indigenous traditions. Let's keep going on this. What do we have about the celebration? Well, how do we celebrate? So here's some stuff right here. This is something called papel picado. You can kind of see it here. It's something you're going to create. You can see these lines here that have the papel picado. You guys are actually going to create some papel picado this week. And it's one of the many things that we do during the celebrations. It says here, they're colorful, very, very colorful. We go to cemeteries, as it says here, and we actually have like family reunions and big parties at the cemetery. And that would kind of freak some people out in the United States. These people here are decorating the cemetery, the tombstones, and actually bringing food out to the tombstones, especially the food that used to be the favorite thing as far as past relatives. Special foods. There are special foods that we cook during Dia de los Muertos, and I think we'll get to that in just a little bit. These things are called they're sugar skulls, and they're called calacas. And the calaveras también. And the sugar skulls are kind of one of the things you would see most commonly out in the street, something you could buy, the candy you could buy out in the street. Oh yes, of course, you would have some types of offerings for your departed relatives. So if your grandfather really liked a specific type of food, you would make that food during Dia de los Muertos, bring it to his grave, and then share it with them. Strange, huh? If I haven't freaked you out yet, just wait till all the other things that are about to come. So here's like a picture of somebody's past relative, and here's some of their favorite foods. I think I can see some mole over here. These flowers are super important, the marigolds there too. And I think with this, we have something coming up here. Decorations. All right. Whoa, that's a big little thing. All right, so some decorations that you would see during Dia de los Muertos, of course, is the papel picado we just talked about, brightly colored cutout tissue paper. And then you would also see tons of these yellow and orange marigolds. They're kind of part of the tradition. You see these calacas. This one is called La Catrina. It's a female version of a skeleton, you would see. And then almost all the calacas are happy, you would see. They're not scary. They're usually in a good mood. They're coming back to Earth and celebrating with us. Here's some papel picado, the cemetery decorated with it. Here's that Catrina that I was talking about. You'll see her everywhere. Okay, just basically a female representation of the Dia de los Muertos. Skeletons, calacas. Here's some calacas, some homemade skeletons. They're also used for decorations. You'll see them. And then, of course, super important, the yellow and orange marigolds. They're used to decorate tombs, but also the altars that you make at home. You put little pictures of people that have passed away and you're trying to celebrate with them, and you decorate it with calacas and some orange and yellow marigolds. What else? Let's see. Oh, yeah, you got to go to the cemetery. It says in rural Mexico, but this happens all over Mexico, not just rural Mexico. People visit the cemetery, and like I said, we have these big parties. It says up here, I think that children and food, they bring drinks and food for the adults that have passed away, or the people that have passed away, and you sit out there in a picnic blanket, and you basically have a little celebration. These celebrations go out up all into the night. And it's just very, very common, not kind of a freaky thing. It's just kind of one of the things that we do that's just very different than in the United States. There's the yellow and orange marigolds again. They're used to decorate tombs and altars. Okay, so you'll see those. This is a hard picture to see here. Families are decorating the tombs again. They're bringing gifts for the deceased. ¿Qué más? All right, same thing. Oh yeah, you've got to set up your candles for overnight. A lot of people hang out there very, very late into the night with their passed away relatives. Okay, it's very important to them to do that. ¿Qué más? Special foods. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about mole, I think. Yes, here it comes. All right, so here we have. This is probably the only candy that you will see as far as during Dia de los Muertos. Could be other stuff too, but this is the most common one. And this is, it says right here, sugar skulls. You'll see these. So that's the only real kind of one of the similarities with Halloween as far as candy. You'll see these sugar skulls there, but not the other kind of candy you would see for us for Halloween. These things up here, if you've never had one, you're missing out. They're called tamales, okay? And they are wrapped in corn husks. And on the inside, it's made of ground corn. So the same stuff that you would make a corn tortilla with. And then it's filled with all kinds of different things. It could be, as in northern Mexico, we fill it with red chili and pork. Sometimes people make them sweet. I don't really like those, but those are possible too. This thing is called el pan de muertos. Pan is, of course, bread in Espanol. And this is bread of the dead. That sounds cool, huh? See? And on the inside, it's really delicious stuff. It looks kind of weird there, but it's really delicious. And then here's my favorite thing of all time. It's something that we call mole. Some of you actually have tried this, I believe. See? And mole, as it says right here, looks like mole. But mole is it's a kind of a soup, I guess you would call it. But it's really thick, and it's made with chocolate and chili spices. Okay, mole is usually made with we usually put chicken in there, but it could be all kinds of other things. You could put turkey in there if you wanted to, or other kinds of meats, but chicken is the most common meat that you would put in there. So good. There's the sugar skulls, there's the pan de muertos that we were just talking about, tamales, and of course the mole. Okay, cool. So those are a breakdown of each one of the things. So the offerings, okay. Sometimes, okay, when we build these little, look at these intricate altars here. Just amazing, the things that people make here. And these are for their relatives. This is for one relative or a couple of their relatives. And they actually created this whole altar for them. And they put their photographs on there. They put flowers, it says there, toys, their favorite stuff, whatever their favorite stuff was, they actually put it on there. And look, these people also put like they say they put water, soap, and a towel. We never did that, but we definitely put their favorite items. One of my, my great-grandfather and my grandfather loved to smoke cigarettes. So you always had to put an ashtray here with an actual lit cigarette of their favorite brand, and then so that one more time they could enjoy that smoke again. Weird, huh? There's the altars with the papel picado. Okay, and you can tell it's very religious. There's a mixture of religions going on here. There's some Catholic stuff going on here, but also um, some native religions also. And ¿qué más aquí? Here's the food, waters, spirits, as it says for the spirits. ¿Qué más? I think that's good. All right. At the end, now you will watch a couple of other videos, more explanation, kind of their interpretation of what Dia de los Muertos is. And then there's a little quiz that goes with this, okay? Kind of making sure you understood the stuff. You can definitely use your notes that you took, okay? And then we have all kinds of stuff, crazy stuff to complete this week. Bueno, adios, hasta la vista.